It's time for another army review from the Armies of the Lord of the Rings. Hello and welcome to yet another video here on the YouTube channel STF Wargaming Studio. My name is Andreas Norwegian Viking and this is my review from the Armies of the Lord of the Rings for the Middle-earth strategy battle game. It's Moria. So we finally come to the Kingdom of Moria, the fallen Kingdom of Moria, where the goblins and monsters dwell. So a fantastic long mainstay army. Many people have used this for ages, as it was one of the first two plastic kits ever released for the game, and it was the Moria Goblin sprue was in the first ever starter box as well. So you have loads of history with Moria. So what has changed? We will see now. So the army composition of this army is, your army may include the Balrog, Durbers the Goblin King of Moria, Groblog, Druzhag the Beast Caller, Ashrak, Moria Goblin Captains, Moria Goblin Shamans, Moria Black Shield Captains, Moria Black Shield Shamans, Dragons, Cave Drakes, the Watcher in the Water, Moria Goblin Warriors, Moria Goblin Drums, Moria Black Shields, Moria Black Shield Drummers, Warg Marauders, Moria Goblin Prowlers, Bat Swarms, Cave Trolls and Dwellers in the Dark. The profile for Cave Trolls can be found on page 131 of this book. I already covered the Cave Trolls in an earlier video, so go back into the Middle-earth playlist and check for Angmar. The Angmar video is where I showed you the Cave Troll. They are impossible allies with Barad-dûr and Sharky's rogues, and convenient allies with everyone else. So everyone else can have Moria as a convenient ally, but they're not historically allied with anyone. Their army bonus is we cannot get out. They are coming. Friendly Moria Goblin models involved in a fight where their opponent is trapped receive a +1 bonus to the fight value, which is pretty handy. The lowly goblins have of course a very low fight value. I think the highest fight value of the whole bunch is Durbers with his fight value of 5. So yeah, a good boost, and that means if Durbers is in a fight where he's trapping someone, that means he'll be up to fight value 6, which is absolutely cool. So let's start off with the biggest hero of them all. Well, no, you have Smaug, but the Balrog. The Balrog is a model that few people took in the old edition. It wasn't good, it was slow, it didn't really do anything. So has it become better? Yes, it has. It was the first example used when seeing some of the changes in a Warhammer community post, and the Balrog has become an absolute beast. So the old points value was quite high, so you'll be glad to know it's gone down by the cost of 10 goblins with a choice of weapon. It is a spirit, a monster, infantry, hero and hero of legend. It has move 6, fight 10, 3+ shoot, strength 9, defense 9, 4 attacks, 10 wounds, 7 courage, 0 might, 10 will, 0 fate. So the stat line is totally unchanged. Its wargear is a giant flaming sword and a fiery lash. So the fiery lash active ability is a throwing weapon with a range of 8 inches and a strength of 7. Additionally, a model that is hit by the weapon and not slain is dragged directly towards and into base contact with the Balrog, even over intervening models or terrain. If the model cannot be placed where it should be placed, instead place it in base contact with the Balrog as close as possible to the position it should have been in. If for whatever reason the model cannot be placed anywhere in base contact, then it's not moved at all. Which is a fantastic ability. it means that the Balrog, if it doesn't with its move of 6 get into combat with anything, because it basically wants to be in combat smacking things, you can just say, well, anyone within 18 inches, 3+, or 4+ if it moved, and just drag people in. It's absolutely incredible. So its further special rules is Ancient Evil, of course, Fearless, so that's a new thing, it's now Fearless, so no double ones again, on a courage value, so you don't have to spend its will points. It's also resistant to magic, coupled with 10 will make it pretty impervious to magic for several turns, and Terror, of course. It has the Goblin Mastery special rule. Friendly Moria Koblin models within 12 inches of the Balrog automatically pass courage tests. The Flame of Udun special ability, which is a new one. The Balrog is never considered to be unarmed, and any model that suffers a wound from the Balrog strike, even if it's subsequently saved by fate, and not slain, must roll a d6. On a 6, the model suffers the Set Ablaze special rule. Additionally, the Balrog is immune to any fire-based attacks or special rules, such as the Dragon's Breath of Fire or the Set Ablaze special rule, which makes sense, it is made of shadow and flame. So of course it doesn't suffer the effects of fire attacks, and additionally when making strikes you can actually set people on fire. And last special rule is the Demon of the Ancient World, and this is where the Balrog went from a good hero to a fantastic hero. The Balrog may call a heroic combat each turn without the need to expend might points. Additionally, special rule and strikes that would slay the Balrog instantly, such as the Drained Soul or Morgul Blade, will only inflict half of the Balrog's starting wounds rather than all of them. Fantastic. So Smaug can kill it with his Breathe Fire, dragons cannot kill it with their Breathe Fire, and neither can the Morgul Blade or Drained Soul. It will stay alive. So Balrog is now absolutely fantastic for its points. It will make up roughly half your army, but it can lead 18 models, so why not try? I think it is a fantastic profile now. To the Goblin King of Moria, it's Durbus himself. He's gone up by the cost of 2 goblins with a choice of weapon. It's still the same stat line, so it's move 5, 4 plus, 4 in fight, 5 plus shoot, strength 4, defense 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 4 courage, 3 might, 2 will and 2 fate. He carries heavy armor and sword, can do heroic resolve, heroic strike and heroic defense as his special heroic actions, and has the Cave Dweller special rule, as all goblins have. It basically allows them to jump and climb and do stuff for better than anyone else. He also has the Iron Fist active ability, which makes his standfast 12 inches rather than 6. So all in all, not a big change, but of course he can lead 15 warriors, making him a bit of a better hero, and that's one of the reasons why he probably has gone up in points. And he was probably, to be fair, a bit undercosted. Groblog, on the other hand, has gone down by a goblin worth of points. He's Goblin Warrior, Infantry Hero and Hero of Fortitude, so he can lead 12. His stat line is move 5, 3 fight, 5 plus shoot, strength 4, defense 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 3 courage, 3 might, 1 will, 1 fate. He carries armor, sword and the Mithril Crown, which has changed. So the Mithril Crown used to be that normal Fury saves within allotted inches of him were 5s instead of 6s, making it not viable to use channeling for the shamans. Now it is at the start of each fight phase, before heroic actions are declared, roll a d6. On a 4+, all friendly Moria Koblin models within 3 inches of Groblog gain +1 fight until the end phase of that turn. So what we have here is synergy. We have the rule that if you trap you get +1 fight, and now this as well. So you can get a total of +2 fight. And that's also, I do think it applies to him as well. So Durbers can be fight. Well, Durbers is actually not fight 5 as I said before. Yeah, it's fight 4. That's the highest one. So yeah, that means with that Durbers can be fight 6. Goblin can be fight 5. Normal Moria Goblins can be fight 4, which is pretty handy. He can do heroic strike and heroic defense, and has the cave dweller special rule, as all goblins have. Druzhag the Beast Caller, unchanged in points, is a hero of fortitude, Goblin Warrior infantry hero. Move 5, 3 in fight, 5 plus shoot, strength 3, defense 4, 1 attack, 2 wounds, 4 courage, 2 might, 5 will, and 2 fate. He carries armor, dagger, and staff. Can do heroic channeling as he is a wizard. Has cave dweller special rule, and master of the dark wild. This is interesting. Druzhag may include wild wargs, fell wargs, giant spiders, bat swarms into his warband as if they were part of the same army list. This does not count as allying. Additionally, all friendly bat, warg, and spider models within 12 inches of Druzhag may use his courage value instead of their own. Druzhag's fury magical power will affect himself and any model that either a bat, spider, or warg model. That is either a bat. So his fury is not for himself, and he can ally in basically roughly 12 models of different races. He has still the Enraged Beast magical power, cast on a 3+, and Fury magical power, cast on a 3+ as well. So those two abilities will make spiders especially, I think, pretty good. Next up we have the last of the named heroes for this army list. We have Ashrak. He is unchanged in points, Goblin Warrior infantry hero and a hero of fortitude. His stat line is pretty much unchanged. There is one alteration. So you have move 5, 2 fight, 3, 5 plus shoot, strength 3, defense 4, 1 attack, 2 wounds, and 4 courage. His might is 1, his will is 4, so he's gone up by will point, and 1 fate. Carries armor and 2-handed staff. He's got heroic channeling and cave dweller special rule. His death touch is still the same, so any model that wounds or is wounded by Ashrak in a fight must roll a d6. On a 4+, they suffer the effect of the paralyzed magical power. His poison blood special rule is pretty much the same. Ashrak may include giant spiders in his warband as if they were part of the same army list. This does not count as allying. Additionally, any giant spiders in your force may be upgraded to venom back spiders at a cost of 2 points. Oh, I said points. Couple of points. A model. Venom back spiders gain the venom special rule. This not only means that Ashrak's warband can include spiders with a venom back special rule, which makes them reroll every single failed wound, but also Druzhag. So, and you can enrage them as well with fury against the hit at the end. So pretty powerful. And he also has the Spiderkin passive ability. Only spider models may benefit from Ashrak Standfast or heroic actions. Additionally, Ashrak may only target spider models with his Shroud of Shadows magical power, which is a new magical power we haven't talked that much about yet. So he has Fury, Spider, cast on a 3+, and Shroud of Shadows with a range of 12, cast on a 4+. The Shroud of Shadow is basically the ring special rule. So the drawback that you have to roll courage just to charge it and get minuses for each inch. Moria Goblin Captain is totally unchanged. It is stayed the same. It is now, well, it is a hero of fortitude, so it can lead 12. He's Goblin Warrior infantry and hero. Move 5, fight 3, 5+ shoot, strength 4, defense 5. 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 3 courage, 2 might, 1 will, 1 fate. Carries armor and sword, can do heroic march as all captains can, and can upgrade to an orc bow or a shield, or both. He has the cave dweller special rule, as ever, and he's a mainstay in the army. You want many of these to lead as many goblins as possible, essentially. The Moria Goblin Shaman, also unchanged in points, but is now 9 heroes, can only lead 6. He is furthermore Goblin Warrior infantry and hero. Move 5, 2 fight, 5 plus shoot, strength 3, defense 4, 1 attack, 2 wounds, 3 courage, 1 might, 3 will, 1 fate. Has armor and spear and can do heroic channeling, and has the cave dweller special rule. It has fury, Moria Koblin on a 3+, and transfix with a range of 12 on a 5+. So again, pretty much a mainstay in the army, because you want a couple of shamans to provide bubbles in horde army. We come now to a contentious topic, which is the Moria Black Shield Captains, previously the Gundabad Black Shields, and these have been rebalanced. In competitive army lists of Moria, you always saw Black Shields as they were high strength, high defense for low points values, but now they've been balanced a bit, and I think they're more elite, if that is a way to frame it. I think that you had too many of these guys, and they were too good for their points previously. Now I think they're better in the grand scheme of an army. You wouldn't do... I'm actually painting up 30 Black Shields at this moment. I don't think you want too many of them. So why am I painting 30? Because I have 12 of each and 6 command models. But yeah, they are... I think they're still fantastic. I think they're still very good. So let's see. He's got move... so he's unchanged in points and is a hero of fortitude. Infantry hero, Moria Koblin. He's move 5, 3 in fight, 5 plus shoot, strength 4, defense 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, 4 courage, 2 might, 1 will, 1 fate. So he's gone down by strength. Carries heavy armor and 2-handed weapon. Has heroic march ability, cave dweller, and hatred special. So the hatred replaces ancient enemies with hatred. So it has basically the same ability. He also dropped a courage point. It was courage 5 previously. The Moria Black Shield Shamans are unchanged in... No, sorry. Yeah, the Black Shield Captain has not changed its courage. The Moria Black Shield Shaman, however, have. They're minor heroes. Same stat line, so move 5, 2 fight, 5 plus shoot. Strength 3, defense 4, 1 attack, 2 wounds, 3 courage instead of 4, so that's a change. 1 might, 3 will, 1 fate. Has armor and staff, can do heroic channeling, has a cave dweller special rule, and both shatter and tremor. Shatter on a 3+ with a range of 12, and tremor on a 5+ with a range of 6. So I think they still have their function in an army, so let me know your comments on that. Next up is the Dragon. The Dragon has, as I can see it, with the exception of a few minor tweaks to the wordings, completely unchanged. It is still the same amount of points. It's a hero of valor, so that's you can lead 15 models now. It's a dragon monster, infantry, and hero. Has move 6, fight 7, 2 plus shoot, strength 7, defense 7, 4 attacks, 7 wounds, 4 courage, 3 might, 3 will, 3 fate. Claws and teeth for its war gear. Can do channeling, strike, strength, and defense. Defense on a dragon. That's good. Option, up to 2 of the following: breathe fire, fly, tough hide, and worm tongue. Breathe fire. Each time a dragon breathes fire, its expend a point of will. Treat the dragon's fiery breath as a bow with a range of 12 inches. If the shot hits, the target and all models, friend and foe, within 2 inches suffers a strength 10 hit. Any model that suffers an unsaved wound, fate may still be taken from the dragon's breathe fire, is automatically slain. Fly, obvious, it gains the fly special rule. Tough hide, it increases its wounds and defense to 9 rather than 7. Worm tongue, a dragon with this ability can spend a single will point each turn without reducing its own store of will. So long as the will point is used to cast one of the following magical powers, the controlling player must still spend extra will points to increase the number of dice in the usual way. It has transfix and compel. Transfix with a casting value of 3+, compel on a 4+, with both with a range of 12. Still has Harbinger Reveal, monstrous charge, which is roughly the same as draconic charge. Resistant to magic, survival instinct, which means it has to take a courage test each time it's wounded, unless it wants to flee the battlefield. Well, if it fails, it wants to flee the battlefield. And terror. So, are the dragons still worth it? I think so. They are pretty damn good. 2 fully kitted up dragons. That's an army I've played, and it's fun. The Cave Drake, on the other hand, is not seen as much in games, so it has gotten a few cool new special rules and a few adjustments to its stat line and other cool stuff. So it's gone down by the staggering amount of 5 goblins with a weapon. It is move 8, fight 6, 5 plus shoot, strength 7, defense 7, 4 attacks, so it's gone up by an attack, 6 wounds, 4 courage, 1 might, 3 will, 1 fate. It has claws and teeth, can do heroic strength for staggering strength 8 if it wants to. It has monstrous charge, replacing draconic charge, mountain dweller, resistant to magic, terror and woodland creature. So it has the roughly the same special rules as before. But it has one new special rule, which is Protect the Nest. At the start of the game, before any models have been deployed, the Cave Drake's controlling player may place a single 25mm nest marker per Cave Drake. The eggs that come in the Cave Drake set are ideal for this. Anywhere on the board, whilst within 3 inches of a nest marker, a Cave Drake gains the Fearless special rule. So it's a minor thing, but it's really cool. Gaping Maw. It's a brutal power attack. Instead of striking normally, the Cave Drake may select a single man-sized or smaller model involved in the same fight to attempt to swallow whole. Roll a d6 on a roll of 3+, the model is swallowed whole and is removed as a casualty. Fate rolls can be made against this brutal power attack as if it caused a wound, but if the model fails to save this with fate, it has been slain. So I think with a points reduction and the fact that you can have multiple of these, that could be really, really fun. And it's a, sorry, I forgot to say, it's a Drake, Monster, Infantry, Hero and Minor Hero. So you can lead 6 of models. Next up to a model I played with once on the camera and 0 times elsewhere. It is the Watcher in the Water. It has also had a points reduction for the mighty amount of 10 goblins with a weapon choice. It is Kraken, Monster, Infantry, Hero and Independent Hero. Its stat line is move 4, fight 6, 3+ shoot, strength 6, defense 6, 6 attacks, 6 wounds, 3 courage, 1 might, 5 will and 1 fate. So it's added a courage point. It used to be courage 2. Its war gear is Tentacles, has access to heroic strength, Harbinger Evil, resistant to magic and terror. From the Deep is its major special rule. The Watcher in the Water can never be part of another hero's model's warband. When you deploy your army, do not deploy the Watcher in the Water on the board, instead keep it to one side for later. During each priority phase, after priority has been rolled, announce if you would like to have the Watcher to arrive, and if yes, roll a d6 on a 3+, the Watcher is ready to enter play. Once you have declared the Watcher is ready to enter, you must roll during each priority phase thereafter until it is available. When the Watcher is ready to enter play, immediately place it anywhere on the battlefield. It can displace models, move any displaced models the minimum distance possible, so that they are minimum they are 1 inch away from the Watcher, or as close as this situation will allow. In this situation, players take it in turns to displace models, starting with the Watcher's controlling player. This may create some odd situations, but represents the water bursting forth, scattering warriors, both friend and foe alike. The Watcher cannot charge on the turn it arrives. Many Tentacles has been changed, so previously it had the same amount of attacks it had wounds, but now when the Watcher is reduced to 3 or less wounds remaining, its attack are also reduced to 3. So the first 2 wounds doesn't really hurt it that much, if that makes sense. Tentacles. In the shoot phase, the Watcher may make a d6 shooting attacks. These have a range of 6 and a strength of 3. and never require in the way rolls. Any model hit by a tentacle but not slain is immediately dragged into base contact with the Watcher by the shortest possible route, even or over the heads of other models. Models removed in this way do not count as having charged. There is no way to fit the model in the base contact, it is not moved at all, which can still make these shooting attacks even if it is engaged in combat, which is a fantastic way to get models into its mighty 6 attack frame, with a fight value of 6 as well. Water Dweller, the Watcher is not slowed when entering a water feature. In fact, whilst within one, its move value is doubled and is always counted as having rolled 6 on the swim chart. Additionally, if the Watcher charges whilst in the water feature, it gains the monstrous charge special rule. So, draw our people with the tentacles and make them stay there, then charge one of them, draw more in, and you still count as having charged. Absolutely fantastic if you can pull that off. Drag to the Depths. It's a brutal power attack and a special one for this model. Instead of striking normally, if the Watcher in the water is within a water feature, it can select a single man-sized or small model involved in the same fight, and then roll a d6. On a 3+, the model suffers a wound. Fate rolls can be made as usual. If the wound is not saved, the model is dragged to the depths and is immediately slain. The Watcher is then removed from the board and its controlling player will start to roll for the Watcher to re-arrive, as described in From the Deep special rule on this page. That is fantastic. So, consider this scenario: you have displaced a bunch of models, maybe even getting your own models closer to an objective and breaking up fights across the board to make things interesting and stagger up the status quo. And then you have, you do this, it bursts off from a water feature or something, and it just drags people in and then kills one of them, drags it to the deep, and then can do it all over again. I think this is very, very thematic, a wonderful change to the miniature, and yeah, I really like it. So we come now to the Warriors. We have the humble Moria Goblin Warrior. It's unchanged in points and is still the benchmark of explaining how points values have changed. It is move 5, 2 fight, 3, 5+ shoot, strength 3, defense 4, 1 attack 2, 1 wound, 2 courage. Carries armor and sword, has access to orc bows, shields and spears, and have the Cave Dweller special rule. Nothing much to say about the goblins, other than you can have a bunch of them. Moria Black Shields, still the same amount of points. They are Goblin, Moria, Infantry and Warrior. Move 5, fight 2, 5+ shoot, strength 3, so they're gone down by strength. Defense 6, 1 attack, 1 wound, 3 courage. They have heavy armor, sword and shield. Can carry a spear for an upgrade, and has the Cave Dweller and now Hatred Dwarves instead of Ancient Enemies, which is roughly the same thing. I still rate Black Shields as very good due to their high defense, which is something you don't really see in a Moria Goblin army if you take a horde. Moria Goblin Drum, so it's gone down by a staggering amount of 5 goblins with a choice of weapon, and you get 2 Goblin Drummers and the Drum. The Goblin Drummers are the same stat line as the Goblin Warriors. The Drum is defense 10 and 3 wounds. The Drummers carries armor and clubs and have the Cave Dweller special rule. So only one thing has really changed in this. No, it really hasn't. Destroying the drum. The drum can be shot at and struck normally and has a defense value of 10 and 3 wounds. It is reduced to 0 wounds, it is destroyed and cannot be played anymore. The drum has no control zone, and any enemy model that spends a full turn in base contact with the drum without doing anything else such as shooting, use the magical power of fighting in close combat, may immediately destroy the drum as described above. Taking up the drum. If either of the drums are slain, they may pass on their war gear to another unengaged Moria Goblin Warrior within 1 inch. Immediately replace the model with the slain drummer. Models that take up the drummer's war gear will automatically drop anything they are carrying. And lastly, their special rule, drums in the deep. A Moria Koblin drum takes up 2 spaces within the warband and counts as 2 models towards your army, and is deployed in the same way as the rest of your warband, which means the drum is not a model. For the drum to be played, at least one Moria Koblin drummer must have started the turn in base contact with the drum, and also not be engaged in a fight. When the drum is being played, it has the following effects. All fights within 18 inches of 1 or more drums, that also include at least one friendly Moria Koblin model, may reroll a single d6 for their dual roll. Note that this is not cumulative with the effects of a banner. All friendly Moria Koblin models on the battlefield add 1 to their courage value, and all enemy models suffers a -1 penalty to their courage test. Note that this is not cumulative with any other rules that suffer similar effects. The drum is a heavy object, and as such is moved exactly like one. The drum cannot be played in the turn which it has moved. So fantastic with the points reduction. I think that is absolutely wonderful, and I would really like to see more drums on the table. And speaking of more drums, we have the Moria Black Shield drummers. It also has got a price reduction of 5 goblins with weapon, and you get 2 drummers, 1 with the drum. So this is not a separate piece, the drum is on one of the models. The drummers have the same stat line as the Black Shields, bar 1 defense point, which is for the shield. They carry heavy armor and clubs, and 1 carries the drum. They have the Cave Dweller and Hated Dwarf special rule. The Run and Drum special rule. The drum is considered to be played as long as the drummer and the drum bearer are in base contact with each other. So this one can be played on the move. Doom Doom. All fights within 12 inches of 1 or more drums, so that's got a reduction of 6 inches to its range, but since it's movable and works, this is not a bad thing though. 1 or more drums that also include at least 1 friendly Moria Koblin model may reroll single d6 for the dual roll. That is not cumulative with a banner. All friendly Moria Koblin models on the battlefield add 1 to the courage value, and all enemy models suffers 1 in courage value. This is not cumulative as well. So far all the same rules except the Run drum. And Take Up the Drum. If either the drummer or the drum bearer is slain, then they may pass on the warrior to any unengaged Moria Black Shields within 1 inch. Replace the model with the slain drummer or the drum bearer. Models that take up the drummer's wargear will automatically drop any that they are carrying. So, out of the 2 drums, would I rather have 18 inches than 12? Yeah. Even though it's not that mobile, it has more than 1 move of Goblin in range, and I think I'll take that on the Black Shields. For the Moria Koblin Prowler, it is unchanging points, same stat line as ever, so move 5, 3 fight, 4 plus shoot, strength 3, defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, 2 courage. It now has armor and a 2-handed axe and throwing daggers, so it's now including the 2-handed axe in its profile. And it has the Cave Dwellers and Backstabbers. So keen-eyed watchers will see that they have removed the bow and the shield option for these. A nice point though, because GW doesn't produce the models for it, and I don't think they ever will. But it's a shame for those who have converted it, to be honest. Bat Swarms, still the same amount of points. Bat Infantry model, Warrior, sorry. Now has a move of 3, but it does have fly. 1 fight, 5 plus shoot, strength 3, defense 3, 2 attacks, 4 wounds, 2 courage. Has claws and teeth, the fly special, and blinding swarm. The fight value of any enemy model engaged in combat with a bat swarm is halved, rounding down. So that is pretty good, and still pretty good. Another model that has changed a bit is the Warg Marauder. It's gone down by gone down by a goblin worth of points. The goblins on top is exactly the same stat line as a normal Moria Koblin, and the Warg is a Warg stat line. But combined, they do make an interesting cavalry model in it, as they have 3 Moria Goblins riding upon a single Warg, 1 with a shield and 2 with a bow. The model is treated the same as any other cavalry model with the following exception. When the goblin with the shield is alive and mounted on the warg, all parts of the cavalry model gain the bonus of +1 to the defense. Even the warg. The warg model only counts as one model towards the army's bow limit. It has armor, sword and either shield or orc bow for the Moria Goblins and claws and teeth for the warg. For the special rule, it has on the hunt, a warg marauder can always fire an orc bow shot for each goblin with an orc bow that is alive upon the back of the warg, even if it has moved its full movement or is engaged in a fight. And lethal union, whilst the goblin remains mounted upon the warg, the entire model gains a terror special rule and adds a bonus of +1 to its courage value. Additionally, in combat, a warg marauder may make an additional attack for each goblin after the first that is still mounted upon the warg, so long as they did not shoot in the shoot phase. So this special rule, the lethal union, makes it a bit more of a tough choice to shoot or not, because you gain those extra couple of attacks. And yeah, I think this is absolutely good. They are not very different, but they're different enough from the old rules that it has some impact. So for the Dweller in the Dark, unchanging points, it's a spirit, monster, infantry and warrior. Still has move 8, fight 7, 3+ shoot, strength 5, defense 5, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 7 courage, has claws and teeth, resistance to magic and terror, and murderous power. Whenever a Dweller in the Dark slays an enemy model in combat, it regains a single wound lost early in the battle. Rend is the only brutal power attack that allows a Dweller to regain wounds in this manner. So, Dwellers, still a good option, and yeah, you can include lots of Dwellers as well as the Balrog in a cool looking army. So that's my review of the Moria Goblins. I still think they're a pretty good army. I don't think they need to be really allied with anything to get that sneaky punches. So traps wins games, as the Australians always say, and I think that is the way with this army, that the goblins need to trap and they need to do a lot of cool things to add on to that. So yeah, I really like the changes to the Marauder, I really like the changes to the drums, and yeah, I would like to see this army played more. So give me a comment below if you're collecting this army and if you want to play it in the new edition, and do subscribe, like the channel, and bear in mind you can support us on Patreon using the link in the description below. It is a fantastic way for you to support our efforts here at the studio, and it gives us the monetary means to expand, improve and give you more cool videos each and every day of the week. So if that's at all interesting for you, click the link in the description below and it will be taken to our Patreon page where you can find out more about that, but more importantly, support your hobby.